Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. Today we have Lost on Everest. This is from National Geographic. It is about an hour long. It's from 2020, so it's fairly recent. It looks really recent, but it tells its tale of a number of guys here who are following the footsteps of George Mallory and Sandy Irvine, however you pronounce it, but Irvine here in California. So Mallory and Irvin both had climbed Mount Everest back in 1924, almost 100 years ago, and they weren't seen from ever again. They are considered potentially to be the first people to have climbed to the summit of Mount Everest, and but there's no actual proof. The group of people that were with them didn't go the whole way they did. They saw them last near the summit, and in the last century, people have been going back and trying to see if they could find their bodies. By the way, Mount Everest is a mountain littered with, if not, they say 100, but at this point, probably hundreds. I don't know. Um, this is not a, obviously, these guys, as we follow these guys, we learned that this is not a trek to take on lightly. The guys involved here, I gotta check my notes here. Renan Ozturk, Tom Pollard, Tom Pollard, sorry, and Mark Sinat. The three of these guys are who this focuses on, and they realized that in 1999 they found Mallory's body near somewhere near the top, but on the downward slope. Because it's such a high traffic area, which you would not think would be the case for the tallest mountain in the world. Um, Apparently, there's a lot of, and this is a controversial take that people have, is that just every douchebag in the world seems to want to climb the mountain so they can have something to say on their TED talk. Um, it's a bunch of weirdo billionaires or millionaires just like, hey, I want to check that off because I can. There's real mountain climbers. These guys are real mountain climbers. They've conquered a number of mountains around the world, and they are professional climbers. They do these things. It's not just a tourist diversion for them. This is really important to them. So when they go up this mountain and seeking to hit the summit, as well as, I mean, one of them even actually avoided Everest altogether, never wanted to have anything to do with it because it was so. Uh, um, but this turns out he went along. I can't remember which one it was, but he went along for the trip, and their goal, though, was with the help of a person who believes he knew where to find it. They were hoping to find Sandy Irvin's body. So, um, what we find along the way is that these guys run along a number of frozen bodies, and it's they question their own reasons for being there sometimes. They understand that ambition is a humongously driving force when it comes to putting together an expedition like this, and whether that's a smart thing or not, depending on who you are, it's something that you have to reckon. I think, if anything, that's what you come to reckon for yourself when you are running out of air on the top of a mountain with glorious views, terrifying winds where you just see your tent flying away. And some points when you get so far up the mountain that your own gear doesn't even matter as much as you hunkering down into, with whatever energy you have left, hunkering down into abandoned tents, campsites, food laying around, literally just like a bag of chips just laying around, um, because people get so far and they give up, and they just leave everything behind, littering one of the most glorious mountains, if not the most glorious mountain on the face of the earth. If you got a, like, I'm not sure if this is presented. It says it's presented in HD. Well, maybe that's just what I'm seeing on this screen. If there's a 4K version of this, and you've got a 4K television, hopefully it's humongous. You'll get a tremendous view of what this stuff looks like. I'm sure it pales in comparison to actually being there. I think these guys pretty much said the same thing. They've seen plenty of footage and they've been around it, but even just arriving at base camp and just going up the mountain just a little bit, and base camp's 17,000 feet on its own. Getting up to 28,000 feet is like the death zone, and there's a lot of, if you make any mistakes there, you're not coming back. And it's nothing, like I said, it's nothing to take lightly. So the point of this is, do they make their, do they find the bodies? Do they reach the summit? This is something you have to see for yourself if you watch Lost in Everest. To me, this is, I kind of am jaded because of the whole let's just trash the place and go up there. There's actually footage of, photos and video of people just standing in line, 200 people deep, going up the side of the mountain, just waiting for their turn to get to the top and go, hey, I'm on Mount Everest. And then, or at least they get to a point on Mount Everest. I don't know if they actually reach the summit, but it doesn't interest me other than just the fact that this is nature, and it's brutal, and the fact that these guys go through so much, just as the people like Mallory and Irving did 100 years ago, almost 100 years ago. It's insane to me. I have trouble getting out of bed some mornings, so yeah, maybe I don't have the ambition of these guys or the obsession, but it's but I have sat in line at Comic-Con for a couple nights in a row for Hall H. That's my Mount Everest. So it's to each their own. But if you're interested in this kind of thing, mountain climbing, and you want to see what the experience is like, you see these guys gasping for breath. One of them has to deal with a major medical issue at one point. I'm not going to ruin anything, whether people live or die or anything else, but and whether they find their reach their goal or not. But it's something, if you care about that kind of thing, definitely check this out. It is a National Geographic thing on Disney Plus, so you know where to find it. But yeah, it's pretty intense. Let's pick tomorrow's episode, see how intense that is.
183.
183. What do we got? 183. Okay. We're done with documentaries for now. But we are getting a sequel before the original in the Pixar world, which is all right. This is actually one of the more recent Pixar films, well, I guess. But it's still a welcome, fun movie I think you'll enjoy if you haven't already seen it. Well, we'll talk about it tomorrow. It's got a car chase with fish. It's Finding Dory. We're going to be watching Finding Dory on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. All right? Ellen DeGeneres playing the forgetful fish. All right, I'll see you back here tomorrow on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. Bye.